Welcome everyone to Hartford, Connecticut on a chilly night in the capital of the Nutmeg State. Fortunately for us, West Virginia and Connecticut are going to play indoors tonight in this Big East Conference matchup. Syracuse setting the pace, the #1 team in the country, also 4-0 in Big East play, but West Virginia right behind at 3-1. The Mountaineers a pleasant surprise to date. They were picked 7th in the Big East preseason coaches poll, while the defending national champion Huskies are 2-2, rounding out the top half of the Big East standings as we near the quarter pole in conference play. Hi everybody, welcome inside the XL Center. Sean McDonough along with the XL Egos, Jay Billis and Bill Raftery. Delighted to have you with us. Not much else going on tonight on the sports landscape, so settle in and enjoy some college basketball. It hasn't been an enjoyable week for Jim Calhoun and his Huskies. They lost 2 games during the week. Rough week in New Jersey. Losses at Seton Hall and Rutgers.
Well, you expect some struggles on the road with a young team. I think you'll see UConn get back to basics, the fundamentals, take care of the ball, defend, and rebound.
And West Virginia, as we said, Bill, 12-4, already some quality wins and a chance for another tonight.
Welcome back from your football responsibilities. In this huddle, we call the signals, by the way. West Virginia, I think they're afraid of them. They get better defensively, and they have experience in the backcourt. Chuck Bryant is playing great. Of course, Kevin Jones, sensational.
Yeah, if they picked a Big East Player of the Year right now, would be Kevin Jones of the Mountaineers, leading the conference in scoring and rebounding. And Jeremy Lamb is 4th in the conference, 18 points per game. But as we go one-on-one, you get a sense Jim Calhoun looking for even more from Lamb. Hard to get much more from Jones.
Well, Kevin Jones is the best offensive rebounder in the country, and he does it with positioning, with strength, with using his leverage. He's not the type of guy that is going to rebound above the rim, but he's got great hands. Averages 11, 12 rebounds a game. Almost 5 of them are on the offensive end.
Great scorers know how to get free, set their man up, use the obvious screen when necessary. Fluid, smooth, plays relaxed, but just gorgeous footwork. His ability to get set and prepare for the knockdown shot is extraordinary. The big bump, the step back, check, Naylor.
Starting lineup for West Virginia, Jabari Hines, the freshman point guard, Darrell Bryant, the Big East Player of the Week, with Keaton Miles Jones and Dennis Kalichla. For the UConn Huskies, in addition to Jeremy Lamb, Shabazz Napier is their 2nd leading scorer, and point guard with Niels Gaffey, Alex Oriaki, and the talented big freshman at 280 pounds, Andre Drummond. Joe Lindsay will throw the ball in the air. Pat Driscoll and Mike Roberts are the other officials. UConn in white. Drummond and Kalichla to jump, and we're underway in downtown Hartford.
Sean McDonough, Jay Billis right now. The Mountaineers go.
Napier to Lamb.
Lamb being guarded by Chuck Bryant. Bryant has to be cognizant of not getting into foul trouble.
Good show and recovery.
And the shot clock down to 15. They had trouble to score in those 2 losses in New Jersey. Averaged 61 points per game in the defeats against Seton Hall and Rutgers, with 7 on the shot clock. A hand check foul on Keaton Miles. Jim Calhoun, in his 26th season as head coach at UConn, 3 national championships, including the memorable run all the way to the title last spring. They won their last 11 games, won the Big East tournament, and then the NCAA. And Drummond has the dunk after Kalichla went for the steal and didn't get it.
Nice job by Lamb. That was a tough angle to make that delivery. He's going to be able to shoot over Chuck Bryant, I think, Jay. He's got that size.
Andre Drummond needs to wear a mouth guard because he gets his mouth right up by the rim. He's going to knock some teeth out.
Hines, and now Kevin Jones, and on to Kalichla.
5-out motion by West Virginia. At the end of the clock, they'll call a set out.
Bryant, he's been red hot. A miss there, but Kalichla attacks the offensive glass.
Oh, he is something around that rim. Boy, he had a dunk against Georgetown right down the lane. I think he's improving, particularly with his footwork.
It's got to be a little discouraging for UConn, as much as they've emphasized rebounding, for them to give up an easy offensive rebound putback on the first possession.
2 good rebounding teams, both better than +6 rebounds per game in rebounding margin.
Another good defensive set here, under 10.
They're trapping ball screens.
Lamb, nice move to the bucket. 4-2 Connecticut. Lamb held to just 8 points in their loss Saturday in Piscataway, New Jersey to the Scarlet Knights. That was a season low. Only game this year he hasn't been in double figures.
Well, they've been talking with Jeremy Lamb about trying to play faster. Sometimes he can get into a little bit of a slower rhythm, and he needs to play with a little bit more speed.
Bryant, that's a 2. He was on the line. He's the Big East Player of the Week for the second week this season at 29 at Rutgers and 25 in their win Saturday against Georgetown.
Nice cut here again. The one-on-one was the ability of Jeremy to set his guy up and get free. It's a little screen away, puts it on the deck. Jay, I don't know if he's fast enough for the eye. You know, Jimmy says he's got to play faster. I think he's a glider, but gets there.
Foul on Bryant, his first, second on West Virginia. And Lamb makes the free throw. Excellent free throw shooter at 83%. Because some guys are just smooth, and it makes them appear as though they aren't going at full speed.
The Iceman comes to mind. George Gervin, for those of you who don't recall, you younger guys on the set here.
Jones stripped. Here's Drummond, the big guy running the floor. Woo!
Wow. You loved that dunk the other day, right? You were telling me at Rutgers?
I mean, he dunks on the way up. Most guys dunk on the way down. He dunks on the way up. That dunk he had against Rutgers, he dunked it like he was 2 feet away, and he was 8 or 10 feet away when he took off. It was unbelievable.
Nice cut by Jones after the feed. Both hooks.
Kalichla with the right hand. There's Jones on the offensive glass. And the conversion off the offensive rebound. It's 9-6.
Kid's amazing, isn't he? Sniffs, anticipates.
You can say he's got a knack, but I mean, he positions himself so well for missed shots. When a shot goes up on the right side, he positions himself on the left because he knows it's going to come off there.
Well, they close it up nice. Kalichla with a great help.
Napier for 3, a little bit long. Oriaki tried to keep it alive. It'll go out of bounds to West Virginia. Nearly 4 minutes in.
Yeah, Jay and I were commenting on the length of his arms. This helps on defense too. Pretty good. Drummond with the hammer.
That's an 18-year-old body, almost 280 pounds at 6'10". And there are a lot of NBA scouts here tonight. Taking a close look at him, he has 4 points on 2 for 2 from the floor.
Well, they're probably writing down, well, he has a hard time making a drop step, and yeah, he doesn't have all these moves. Yeah, but he can do that.
But Kalichla walked. They didn't call it. Then he turned it over. Got to be tougher with the ball. Gives it up a couple times a game that way.
The next thing for Kalichla is taking the ball to the rim harder, and there's the trap off the ball screen action.
Well, he zones in the back. Even there, he was a little bit late.
Oriaki was wide open along the lane. The crowd wanted Lamb to feed him, but he did not. And a steal by Bryant. Drummond hustled back. Kalichla the tip in.
The big guy running the floor. That was a scouting report steal. That horn set Chuck Bryant with great anticipation.
Well, UConn has been loose with the ball, and that has hurt them. They've got more turnovers than assists on the season.
That's unbelievable for a really good team. It's played a relatively weak non-conference schedule. Be 12-3 and have more turnovers than assists. Highly unusual.
And West Virginia's already taken them out of their offensive rhythm with their pressure.
A great floor coverage. Helping recover.
Oriaki double team. Good defense by Kalichla and Jones. And now the break, and Hines the finish.
Well, UConn's not even running.
No, and Kalichla just a great outlet pass and no recovery whatsoever.
6 unanswered points for the Mountaineers. They beat Georgetown, then number 9 in the country, on Saturday. So they roll in here on a high.
I think Jim Collins is going to go play small with Boatwright coming in. Nice look.
And a dunk by Oriaki off the beautiful feed by Shabazz Napier.
West Virginia, they can be so good defensively because of their ability to disrupt with pressure. And that time the pressure certainly didn't bother Napier.
Lamb deflects it out of bounds and uncharacteristically subdued Jim Calhoun as we go to the timeout.
Not happy with his guys. Gorgeous pass. He likes that.
Number 4 in the country in the preseason polls. Jim Calhoun would like this team to play with some of that energy that they played with at the end of last season when they made that memorable run from the number 9 seed in the Big East tournament to winning the conference tournament and then running through the NCAA as well.
Jay, his comment today to the three of us about we don't have that guy that can get 30 for us. No, he's not walking in the door.
That guy's Kemba Walker, who averaged 23.5 per game, went on early to the NBA, and you wonder how terrific this UConn team would be had he stayed.
Hey, by the way, Seton Hall, Kevin Willard, what a job. I left some of my old plays for him. He's going to use them, I'm sure.
Jabari hides the miss. That's the first rebound of the night for Connecticut. Nearly 6.5 minutes in, and Giffey just back in, missed the layup, though was fouled. Yeah, that was unbelievable to me that Seton Hall was not in the top 25 that came out today. The Pirates are 14-2. They've played the 4th toughest schedule in the country. One of those losses is to the number 1 team in the country, Syracuse. They have wins over Connecticut, West Virginia, and at Dayton. How are they not in the top 25?
You think the way they played against Syracuse was in the voters' mind?
That might have been one of the few games that some
didn't play well.
Saw, and they did not have a good night.
But Pope, Theodore, Fuquan,
Edwin.
Yeah, Edwin has played very well. I mean,
he's one of the better defenders I've seen all year long.
Steals the ball with 3 or 4 games. He's amazing.
Giffey, sophomore from Germany, gets the second one to go around and in. And the Huskies lead by 3. Foul was on Gary Brown, his first. He has the ball now, a freshman from Puerto Rico.
If not for offensive rebounds and a turnover that they turned into a layup, West Virginia only have 2 points in this game. 8 of their 10 are off offensive rebounds and turnovers.
They'll duck in. They worked against letting that happen. Or just a little tardy. Now, you played enough defensive center. You got to do your homework early on that, don't you?
Well, you got to meet them early. And certainly you can't let any good post guy get 2 feet in the lane and pin you behind him.
Tough matchup. Giffey and Truck should be able to do some damage with the bounce.
There's Bryant shooting over Giffey, and that's a 3. Well, Bob Huggins said before the game, and the stats bear it out, the Mountaineers tend to go as Bryant goes. Truck can be a very streaky shooter. And in their 4 losses, he has not shot the ball well.
Every time they run an out of bounds play, they're looking for Bryant. They brought 1 cutter. He was the 2nd cutter.
He's doing a nice job not letting Lamb touch it. Oh, little nickel dimer.
Lichla fouled Drummond on the arm.
Bryant is going to go set a little screen. It's really just an exchange. And that first cutter, Miles, isn't who they're looking for. They're looking for Truck Bryant coming off, and Giffey's got to get a hand up there. That's too easy.
So now Drummond, freshman from down the road in Middletown, Connecticut, makes the first free throw. It's just 35% for the year from the line. That's the reason you heard the big cheer. This big crowd.
He had to step across that line before that thing hit.
George Blaney was a terrific shooter, assistant coach, and he has worked hard on this league. A lot of them is one-hand shooting with a follow-through, keeping the left off. I think sometimes the bigger the guy, the hands get in the way. I'm thinking of Shaq for one. It becomes a tennis ball.
1 out of 2. Rebound down to Kevin Noreen, who's come off the bench for Bob Huggins, number 34.
Shuffle ball.
Gary Brown lost it. Noreen hits the floor to get it back for Brown with 15 to shoot. And a 3 wouldn't go out of the corner for Jabari Hines. And then Lamb lost the ball on the far sideline.
Hit the official.
And he was out of bounds, apparently. Well, Super Tuesday begins this week. Matter of fact, on most calendars, it's tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. Georgia faces number 19 Florida, and then at 9 number 5 Ohio State and Illinois. Super Tuesday presented by KFC on ESPN, ESPN3, and also streaming online live. Watch ESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app.
If the ball touches anything that is out of bounds, it is deemed out of bounds. The official was out of bounds and knew it and called the ball out of bounds.
Just a bad break, really. I think they're going to check the clock.
Fans are booing. I don't know where they wanted Mike Roberts to be, at the concession stand. I mean,
how about Huggies attire, the foot attire? Bathroom slippers?
well, you're more observant.
You know,
I was watching the drills. Was the last time we saw Bob Huggins here, the last time they played here 2 years ago, February 22nd of 2010, Bob Huggins was ejected from that game. West Virginia's never won at Connecticut. 0-8 all time, 0-3 here at the XL Center. Dennis Kalichla is going out of the ball game. He has 2 fouls. Gary Brown to Kevin Jones. He'll jack a 3. Wow.
Well, he's not afraid. He can step back.
Despite the fact that he shoots in the 20% typically, 23% this year for Jones from beyond the arc. Foul was on Bryant, his second. So 2 key players for West Virginia, Bryant and Kalichla, with 2 fouls, and they both go to the bench. Another freshman, Aaron Brown, has come in for the Mountaineers.
And that's the kind of foul that Truck Bryant cannot get in this game. And you have to be a lot more judicious. He's a senior. And that's a mistake you just can't make, especially on the road. They can't have him on the bench for an extended period.
It's too good. Contributes too much. Aaron Brown, they got to watch him. He can drill at a high number to 3s.
Lamb used an Oriaki screen. Olander looking into Oriaki. A lot of jockeying for position. And Oriaki got away from Noreen to score.
Jim Calhoun challenged him in the paper yesterday to play bigger, better, tougher. He dug in there, nice shape up, and completed it.
Those numbers are way down from last year.
He's not playing well. Some of that might be Drummond.
Yeah, I was just thinking that the emergence of Andre Drummond has certainly changed his role, but still, he's capable of so much more.
Gary Brown a 3 for West Virginia to tie it up at 16. Nearly 9 minutes gone by.
Nice.
Lamb wide open. Nice distribution there by Ryan Boatwright, the freshman point guard who came in for Connecticut, and then a foul on Oriaki. On the rebounding action will get us to a timeout. Tied at 16. 11:02 to go first half. When we come back, a look back at some of the memorable moments from the first half of this college basketball season. Memorable moments and games. Only 3 remaining unbeaten teams: Syracuse, Baylor, and Murray State. Baylor was very fortunate to survive an overtime game with this West Virginia club out in Las Vegas. 3 Big Ten teams in the top 8. There are more Big East teams in the top 25 than any conference. 5 this week. And you love Doug McDermott. I was reading your missive on ESPN.com yesterday. He's your midseason player of the year.
He's been magnificent. Can you believe Doug McDermott of Creighton and Harrison Barnes of North Carolina, conservatively 2 of the 10 best players in the country, played on the same high school team in Ames, Iowa?
That is hard to believe. Do you know their record?
I don't think they lost.
They shouldn't. Fire the coach if they did. Here we're tied at 16, nearly midway through the first half. Kevin Noreen lost the ball. Good defense by Olander. And Boatwright will go to the line after a strong move to the goal.
I love this kid's juice. He comes in ready to play. You can feel he loves the game. And you're right about Olander. He's one of those junk guys too. Little things here and there, slap away. Give him a little more punch is what I think Jimmy would like.
Well, you're right about Boatwright. He is quick, explosive, and totally unafraid. He's just got a scorer's mentality out there and attacks every possession.
1 foul on Gary Brown. 6 team fouls now on West Virginia, so the next one puts them over the limit. And Boatwright missed the free throw. Oriaki returns for Olander. Boatwright was once committed to West Virginia, but changed his mind, elected to come to Connecticut. Seemed to coincide with the signing of Jabari Hines, also a freshman, point guard, top recruit.
Boatwright also committed to USC when he was, I think it's 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah, 8th grader. Which seems a little early.
Yeah, they wouldn't give him a parking space for his bicycle.
Pretty good D here.
And down to 6 to shoot. Gary Brown lost it on the drive, but it was deflected out by the Huskies with 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Pretty nice hesitation move. He should have pulled up at the Big East.
Exactly. Really good handle until the end.
Well, we get a pretty nice look at an open 3 off the inbounding play, but Brown missed it.
Pretty good rebound by Lamb.
Pulled right underneath, and Drummond couldn't catch it.
He ran the floor nicely, though. Sometimes you got to wait, reverse it a little bit. You didn't really play with another big. Allery would be a face the basket kind of a guy.
Yeah.
It's a little harder when you got a guy your size that needs the ball in the box too, I would think.
Well, I think you'd get an argument that I needed the ball down there. My guards used to tell me that they understood the limitations of their teammates, so never threw it in there. That was a good idea to throw it, but he needed to throw that ball all the way up to the rim and let Drummond go get it.
Well, Jones, another 3, and it rattles in and out and in again for Kevin Jones.
He does not lack for confidence, even though he's not a great shooter and doesn't have great form.
Out of bounds, last touch by Hines. Yeah, Bob Huggins said for a while he tried to work with Jones on the shot, but there's so much about it that is unorthodox that after a while he just decided it was better to let it go, because the more they tweaked with the stroke, the less the ball went in.
He said that he did the splits on some of the shots. You know, he came down incorrectly.
With anticipation by Aaron Brown. Wisely pulls it up. Gary Brown.
Pretty.
Off to Aaron Brown, not related. Swatted by Drummond and then blocked again out of bounds.
Well, if you're going to get it back, it's going to be on the defensive end. This team traditionally terrific negators around the rim. Nothing easy. You've got to become available on the drive.
And that gets into your head after a while. You see 2 of them sent back. You start getting a little gun shy, taking the ball to the rim.
Noreen, more of a screener. Early in the year, I like the way he passed to the post.
Wow. Jones, another 3. Noreen kept it alive, but it wound up with Napier. Here comes Connecticut down by 3. And good work by Noreen to deny that pass into Oriaki, and UConn has 21 to shoot.
Connecticut just went too fast.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody leaving early, so there was this big clump of people in the middle of the lane. You got to wait for the screen before you go.
And Lamb's not getting the ball. If he touches it once, he's not getting it back.
He went to set that diagonal up screen.
That was for him.
Yeah, Drummond's already gone. You got to wait.
Lamb's taken 3 shots. He had 4 shots. There's a 5-second count. Gary Brown was up on Napier. Lamb had only 4 shots in their loss at Rutgers Saturday. Went 0 for 4 from the floor. Fouled out in 24 minutes.
More dribbling than passing for UConn right now.
And 6 turnovers for Connecticut. Kevin Jones usually doing it on the offensive glass tonight. Looking forward to that, Carl. And certainly those teams must be after a very long wait to finally get to the national championship game tonight. Here it's West Virginia by 3 as Connecticut's gone cold. Nearly 4 minutes without a field goal for the Huskies.
A pretty good defense there with those staggered bumps.
Jones shoots over Andre Drummond.
That's a tough match for the big guy that far from the hole.
Especially you face up.
Yep.
Step or 2 off the lane. They ran a lot of action to get Kevin Jones down that low block.
Jones had 11 double-doubles this season in 16 games. Brown the takeaway off to Aaron Brown, and it was blocked by Napier. Excuse me, by Daniels. And then Noreen the miss. Actually, it was Boatwright who blocked the last one. Third time as a charm.
Yeah, great hustle to get back by the little guy.
And then Oriaki scores inside. 7 minutes to go in the half.
And Connecticut's run the floor. They've been pretty effective.
And a foul on Giffey. His first.
Third team foul.
Just the third foul on Connecticut.
I think this UConn team is just some offensive execution. I mean, they have to tighten up some things on defense, but if they get their offensive execution in the half court better, I mean, this is such a talented team. They can be really, really good.
Now, if you were a big guy inside for Connecticut, and the perimeter people are letting the opponent drive like they are, I mean, you're going to get fouls. You're going to get out of position. They're not doing a good job keeping people out of the lane.
Well, they certainly haven't done a very good job of keeping people off the glass either. You look at the turnover situation thus far in the game and the offensive rebounds that they've given up. That's really the difference in the game and why West Virginia has the lead.
1 out of 2 for Hines. Jim Calhoun has Roscoe Smith into the game for the first time. He was a key contributor, especially down the stretch last year in the Big East tournament, the NCAA tournament, but he's been buried deep on the bench lately. Played less than a minute Saturday at Rutgers. He fed Drummond, who scored from the baseline.
So if he can develop that kind of a game, that's essential as he propels his career forward.
Well, he's got to learn to extend on those shots. That shot was from down by his forehead. He needs to get the extension of that shot and get a jump hook. He needs to refine his post game, but his tools off the charts.
Boy, another 3 for Kevin Jones.
And he looks over at the bench, checking the truck out.
Hey, coach, you said something about my shot today. Look at this.
Well, you mentioned there are a lot of NBA scouts here tonight, and you wonder if Kevin Jones, in some ways, is trying to make a point to them. Oriaki a miss.
Look at the numbers.
Yeah, Hines ahead of the pack. Oriaki altered the shot, perhaps, with his presence. A missed opportunity for West Virginia, and it hurts at the other end as Boatwright buries a 3.
It usually does. A very unselfish play, too, by Lamb on the perimeter.
First 3 of the night for Connecticut. It comes from the freshman from Aurora, Illinois, former Mountaineer commit, Ryan Boatwright. Bouncing to the bucket, Brown, and then he missed it. Oriaki took it down. Now 2 to tie, 3 for the lead for the Huskies.
Well, you look out on the floor right now for West Virginia. This is a young team. They've been able to keep it close. That keeps Truck Bryan on the bench. I mean, Bob Huggins has been able to steal a lot of minutes with Bryan out.
Interesting decision. Gary Brown, instead of going to Jones near the basket, fed Aaron Brown, who missed the 3. He's been the best 3-point shooter in the Big East so far this year. And then a charge on Lamb as Hines stepped in. First foul on Jeremy Lamb.
Mishandle it, Sean, too. That's what cost them.
Really nice job by.
It's really the arm that did it. Bringing up that left arm, that's what got the foul more than anything. Because I'm not sure Hines was really there.
But then the other end, I think they can get what they want with Jones, because the Drummond just can't keep up with him. Have him screen, keep active.
This has got to be disappointing for Jim Calhoun that Truck Bryan has spent all this time on the bench and UConn haven't been able to take the lead. They're playing from behind.
Bryant's played only 8 minutes.
Drummond's lost again.
Dominic Rutledge in the game, number 1 for West Virginia.
Pretty good denial by the big guy, though.
He can move his feet. That's a big, strong athlete.
Using a lot of arms, you notice, banging. Got to be careful, get those cheap fouls.
Drummond has already been the rookie of the week in the Big East 3 times. Jones, another 3.
Can't cover it. Well,
that stroke's looking better.
Yeah, it is. What does Huggins know? 703 coming in. Spend a few days on the bench.
3 threes for Jones here in the half. And then Olander called for a double dribble. Well, they had 20 turnovers, the Huskies, in their loss Saturday against Rutgers. Jim Calhoun said we need to be better with the ball. They haven't been so far tonight. They've had 9 turnovers. And meanwhile, Jones continues to fire from beyond the arc.
Well, Drummond's just not used to guarding out there, and that's they run the same plays over and over again. They're looking for Jones and Bryant just about every time. Obviously, Bryant on the bench, but Drummond just fell asleep.
Once again, getting in deep, even though it was blocked. The kick out, defense is broken down. Jabari stretching out.
Hines, the three out of the corner. West Virginia 6 for 12 from three-point range, including the surprising performance of Kevin Jones, who averages under 1 three-pointer made per game. He has 3 tonight, and the Mountaineers have their largest lead.
Well, Kevin Jones plays his best in the big games. He had 28 points, 17 rebounds against that big front line of Baylor. He's got the versatility to step away. He's not a great shooter, but he's been knocking shots down left and right in this ball game, getting on the glass. He's done everything.
Interesting, when we talked to Bob Huggins this morning about Kevin Jones, he said earlier in the year the Mountaineers played Baylor out in Las Vegas, a lot of NBA scouts there, and he asked some of the NBA scouts how, and there's one of them who's here tonight, Danny Ainge, who runs the Celtics. That good-looking guy on the right's Ryan McDonough. We might add. We've got all the good looks in our family.
Well, personality, steps up to the plate when the bill comes. A lot of nice things about that young man.
But Huggins said the NBA scouts told him there were probably 3 big-time NBA prospects on that Baylor team. He said, how about my guy? And they kind of went, ah. And Bob Huggins said, I guarantee you our guy will go out and outplay those prospects tonight. And Jones went out at 26. The game they really should have won against Baylor. They got a shaky call at the end of the game. That'll get us to a media timeout. But I get curious to think what you guys think about Jones with an eye toward the future when we come back. Prediction. They're ready across the street here in downtown Hartford, a Coach's Bar. We're in the hotbed of Husky hoops. There are plenty of folks getting ready for the All-State BCS National Championship football game. I know, Bill, you've already staked out a spot for us to go after we're done here.
We just need your credit card. We just need your credit card. We're in good shape.
Well, let's see, as Len Elmore said, if UConn can get rid of the disjointed offense. That's a good way to start. Give it to Lamb and let him go. He buries a 3.
Well, that's the first time they went 1-4.
Well, they got the little play. Yeah, they got the little backdoor look and then just a double away for Jeremy Lamb, and they ran it with good timing. They didn't go too fast.
Wow. Jones, another 3. And Olander's pass, barely rescued by Napier. I tell you what, Jim Calhoun does not have the most patience.
No, that Sparky Anderson, you throw a ball in this game, you're out.
Yeah, it was an almost turnover, and I think he's still going to get the hook for Olander. There's Lamb from the elbow, rebounded by Rutledge. Hasn't played a lot for West Virginia this year.
Best known for that Baylor game. The end of the game, he was terrific.
He had 8 of his 14 points for the season in that game against Baylor. He was great down the stretch.
How easy was that?
They never saw the ball. Lamb didn't see it, Jay.
Well, surprise Brown. He's so wide open.
Aaron Brown's bucket puts the lead back to 7 for West Virginia. Aaron Brown's freshman from the Philadelphia area. They have a talented young team around the returning nucleus of Kevin Jones, Darrell Bryant, and Dennis Kalichla. Boatwright kicked it out. Napier steps into a 3. Long rebound of Gary Brown, another one of those talented freshmen. Rutledge lost it on the floor, ripped it back, then he went down. Gary Brown battles, held ball, and it'll stick with West Virginia. I'm reading that shot clock right. College Hoops continues on ESPN with Thursday night showcase, a doubleheader. At 7, Wisconsin takes on Purdue. At 9, Virginia, big surprise, visits number 6 Duke. Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price. ESPN, ESPN3, also streaming live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. You surprised by the success of the Virginia Cavaliers?
A little bit. I mean, I thought they were going to be the 4th best team in the league. Turns out they may be the 3rd best team in the league in the top 25 right now. I think they're either 13 or 14-1. And you know, Mike Scott is such a good player inside. Senior came back and got a couple guys that can shoot it. Joe Harris can really shoot it. Sammy Zaglinski.
Yeah, can shoot it. I love Scott. You're right. Got to see them out in Maui. But that seems like years ago, doesn't
It was last
year. West Virginia is a really young basketball team. They're just playing harder right now than UConn.
I like this lineup, though, right now.
And the benefit of a couple of terrific veterans. Jones, another outside shot. Is he settling a bit too much now?
Maybe.
A little bit. How about, as we talked before a recent break, about Jones as a pro?
I think he can play in the NBA because he's pretty. Oh, talk about playing the NBA. Did he take off from outside the lane, 2-footed there?
This kid has got everything you need in terms of hops, athleticism. He just needs a little jump shot, a little turnaround jump shot. Jones does so many things. He's going to play in the league, Sean. Never going to be a star, but he's going to play. That's my feeling.
Hey, he'll rebound. He'll help you win. He'll get you extra possessions.
He'll guard.
Drummond's dunk ignited the crowd, and then good defense by Keaton Miles to knock it away.
Watch where he takes off from here. Well, he was inside the lane, but barely. I mean, he was 3-4 feet from the basket and took off like he was right underneath it.
See, that's what the guards have to do. Penetrate, big step up, and then slip the pass. They can do more damage that way. And Lenny's right. They started running some offense. They ran the 1-4. They ran the circle play, stuff they hadn't used early in the game. Nice cut.
He's Lamb had the tough time shaking Keaton Miles. He finally did on the back cut, but then missed the up and under. And they can hold for the last shot.
I was getting a timeout.
Timeout, West Virginia.
Now Truck Bryant's going to come back in the game for the last shot.
Do you like that move? I mean, he's your second leading scorer, but then again, he's been sitting on that bench cold for a long time.
Don't charge, that's all. Don't charge. I mean, that's the one thing. Penetrate and find or settle for the three. If he plays off the ball, they'll look for him for a three on a drive, Sean.
West Virginia, as we mentioned at the top of the telecast, a pleasant surprise to many, not yet ranked in the top 25. They haven't been all year, but expectations were low. Lost so many good players off that very good team of a year ago. But when you have 2,000-point scores coming back, like Jones and Bryant, that's the first time in the history of the school that's happened. That's pretty good to start with.
Well, and every year that Bob Huggins has been in Morgantown, they've finished better than their preseason expectations. I mean, that guy can coach. He's pretty good at this.
They play scared, too. They're afraid of him. I mean, certain things to be said about fear. I think we all who've had terrific coaches, I know Jay certainly did, I did, there was a respectful fear to get it done.
I know we're afraid of our play-by-play guy.
Well, after the loss to Seton Hall, because they're out of session, some of the rules about how long you can practice are relaxed. And apparently Bob Huggins took advantage. It was some very long days for the Mountaineers in the gym, but it's paid off. They've played very well since, including that impressive win against Georgetown on Saturday. Bryant takes the shot just off the bench and was well short with it, and then the heave wouldn't go from half court.
Nice play, though. That's why he won't charge. Set him up for the kick. Couldn't deliver.
Jones living beyond the arc, unusually so, with 13 points, and Lamb 8 on 50% shooting. The largest lead was 8 for West Virginia. It's 5 at the break as we send you back to Carl and Len in the halftime report. And Big East basketball continues from downtown Hartford, Connecticut. West Virginia at the half, leading Connecticut by 5. The Mountaineers led by as many as 8 in the first half, led by Kevin Jones, who had 13 points. Andre Drummond, a perfect 4 for 4 from the floor for Connecticut. He had 9, but more problems with turnovers for the Huskies. And we welcome you back to Hartford. Sean McDonough, Jay Billis, and Bill Raftery. And if you're Bob Huggins, given the fact that 2 of your very best players, Dennis Kalichla and Darrell Bryant, spent a lot of the half on the bench with foul trouble, you have to be pretty pleased.
Oh, I think he's really pleased to have a 5-point lead after shooting 37% in the first half, and Truck Bryant on the pine for most of the first half, 12 minutes of it anyway. I think they're in very good shape.
And you think UConn run their stuff. I mean, they've been shorting things, not going through it. Let's see how they handle their starting big, and conversely, West Virginia playing very small, Sean.
Napier played it in to Ryan Boatwright. UConn ball to begin the second half. Now Jeremy Lamb out there with Alex Oriaki and Andre Drummond. Drummond Still perfect from the floor, 5 for 5.
Yeah, he made that by being quick to the spot. Good foot speed by the big fella.
And he didn't hesitate. Once he decided to go with that move, he went into it decisively.
Bryant, who played only 8 minutes in the half, to Kalichla, who played 7, as they each picked up 2 fouls. Bob Huggins says of the big 3, they need 2 out of the 3 to have a good night on offense, typically, if they're going to win. Kalichla rebounded a rock.
Yet another offensive rebound for West Virginia.
Bryant missed the 3. Rebound down to Drummond. Didn't announce that he was coming to Connecticut until late August. That was a very pleasant surprise for Husky Nation. Scholarship became available.
A lot of coaches have had that happen in their career.
Lamb rattles one home. Nice start to the half for Connecticut, back within 1.
You like these 3? I like this lineup. The 2 point guards for Connecticut.
Well, I like it when Jeremy Lamb sets a screen before he gets a screen. When he's the screener and then comes off a screen, he's hard to deal with.
Timeout called by Bob Huggins.
Jeremy Lamb sets the screen, then comes off a double. You go around it, he dribbles away, and he's very smooth. Well, Connecticut trailing West Virginia by 1. They've come out strong in the second half, and Connecticut runs a lot of really good set plays, and when they run them as they did here, a little back pick out of a 1-4 set, they swung one wing across, and just really good read by UConn.
Mike Krzyzewski used to run this play for Jay Billis. The sprint across the lane, but they called 3 seconds on him by the time he got across there. But this kid, 2 steps, begged for that basketball, and showing some out.
When they run their stuff, they're really good. Now, they haven't run it several times during the first half, turned it over 9 times, broke some things off. Their timing wasn't right.
Kalichla really not getting inside and shaping up much. Trying to post up. Truck.
Truck took Boatwright down to the block, but didn't get the ball. Gary Brown nearly turned the corner. Bryant got Boatwright in the air, then was short from 3. And a held ball as Gary Brown reached in, tried to yank it away from the much bigger Oriaki.
Okay, he is strong to be able to do that. Tough to keep that ball up by the chin, too, isn't it, for a big guy, because you come down with it.
So West Virginia ball, looking for their first points here in the second half.
First time they've really posted. Jones.
Working on Drummond. The fadeaway well short. Gary Brown in there again. Well, he is a spirited rebounder. It's last touched by Connecticut. Brown listed at 6'1", 185. He had 12 rebounds in a game earlier this year.
Pretty active kid.
A tough kid. He's coming off a good game against Georgetown at 12, hit 6 free throws in a row in that one.
Kalichla miss, and now Connecticut has a chance for its first lead of the second half. They led by 5 about 3 minutes into the game, but then trailed through most of the first half.
Gary Brown with a tough assignment, but took a nice fade. He really uses screens beautifully, Lamb.
Napier bumped. Sloppy foul by Gary Brown. His second.
14, Gary Brown. Second personal foul. First on team Zach.
Boatwright will pull it out. And now Napier.
There's that 1-4. You mentioned the back cut earlier. Dribble exchange on occasion out of it.
Just a little bump back. That's when they try to get the screen on the opposite side for Lamb. Brown defended it very well.
Very tough shot by Napier, and then out of bounds. Last touch by Alex Oriaki.
We've got some colorful shoes out there, by the way.
Yeah, especially Napier.
Napier, and of course Truck with the see-through, glow-through.
You want one thing, Truck Bryant in those shoes, he's not going to get hit by a car.
A lot of cars will stop.
Kalichla trying to set up in the lane. Over Oriaki. It popped out. And Drummond was just hanging by the rim, waiting for it to pop off.
I like that shot for Klitschko. He'll make those more often than not.
And the big guys up front for UConn just cannot miss tonight. Oriaki and Drummond. That time it was Oriaki. UConn leads for the first time since it was 16-13 with 11:39 to go in the first half. Gary Brown trying to quiet the crowd. West Virginia still has not scored in this half. Matter of fact, back to the first half, they've gone more than 6 minutes without a field goal. Ooh, Gary Brown very hard into the UConn radio area. Whew. Joe D'Ambrosio standing in there trying to take a charge.
Joe D'Ambrosio, the broadcaster of the year in the state of Connecticut this year.
He got both networks. West Virginia, your pal Tony over there.
Yes.
Jay Jacobs. Jay's under the table still, probably.
Can be dangerous over here.
By the way, Oriaki has responded, I think, to some of the remarks by Jim Calhoun. He's too good. This is the kind of display they need from him.
Well, this is the best he's played all year.
He was terrific at the end of the year.
And a foul called on Boatwright. His first. 4 minutes into the half, almost 2 seconds shy of it. West Virginia still has not scored. Alex Oriaki last year, 9.5 points per game and nearly 9 rebounds. He was second in the Big East in rebounding, but he has not been anywhere near as much of a factor this year. And Jim Calhoun has not been shy to tell him that, as is usually the case with the Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah, he was a presence last year.
Well, the ball's sticking with West Virginia in the second half. They're not getting near the movement they did in the first half.
Look at this kid work. Oh, clean it up.
His second jump is so quick. Now, it doesn't look it, but Kevin Jones weighs 260 pounds. I mean, he's solid. He uses leverage in there, and he may play, as some people say, below the rim, but he throws his weight around below that rim.
When you have more than 60 more offensive rebounds than anybody else in school history, you are a prolific offensive rebounder.
Or your team misses a lot of shots.
Well, that helps. Jones, Klitschko, Jones again. And they're starting to attack the offensive glass.
Great run by Klitschko. Kept it alive, but just to sprint down the floor, set it up. Jones keeping it alive as well. Nice hands.
By Jones, who couldn't save it. So a slow start for West Virginia this half, but they've reclaimed the lead thanks to the work at the rim. .45 to go in downtown Hartford. Forward to what we anticipate will be an exciting conclusion to this one. West Virginia back up by 3. And their edge earned at the offensive glass. They have 13 offensive rebounds, led to 13 second chance points, while UConn does not have an offensive rebound tonight. Hard to believe with guys like Drummond and Oriaki.
Well, they haven't missed many shots. They've only missed 10 shots. The problem is they've been turning the ball over like crazy.
Well, let's miss a couple and pad those rebounding stats for Jim Calhoun.
There's number 3 on number 13. He's just such a big, strong kid.
The Istanbul, as Tony Caridi, the voice of the Mountaineers, termed him. Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Well, that's a checkout. I mean, that is a legit checkout.
Well, Kevin Jones is the best offensive rebounder in West Virginia history, but no player in West Virginia history has more resembled the Mountaineer than Dennis Klitschko. He looks exactly like the Mountaineer.
He does. Give him the musket.
Sands rifle.
6'9", 260, junior from Istanbul, Turkey. Came over to this country, didn't speak any English. The pass goes through the hands of Tyler Olander. Will Jim Calhoun give somebody the hook for that?
Well,
no, but he will come out to the foul line. He yelled at somebody.
I think he was hollering at you, though.
It was my fault.
South Boston, son of a gun. They love that play. Nice
yes,
brush.
they do, and they execute. Gary Brown, nice catch. Pass was probably a little lower than he would have liked, and a timeout called by Jim Calhoun, who is striding out to midcourt to get right in the face of Ryan Boatwright.
Wow, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, that's
you got to be a good kid. Here's a little brush screen, and they didn't run it all game. Nobody helped whatsoever at the center spot.
You know, not to say that Jim Calhoun, you know, is yelling at the wrong guy, but Andre Drummond's got to step in there.
I think he's mad at the inbounds pass.
Oh, I'm sure he is. There's plenty to be mad at, but you know, whenever there's a back screen, the big guy's got to step in there. You got to call it out, but you also have to step in and change the path, and there's got to be more pressure on the ball to take that away. There are a lot of guys to be upset on in that exchange.
Every coach has a style, and that's hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And listen, I admire him. I think he's a great coach, but as we take a look forward
to NBA Wednesday, starting with key NBA countdown at 7:30, the Mavericks and Danny Ainge's Celtics at 8. And then at 10:30, LeBron and the Heat take on Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, and the new look Clippers. How much fun will that be? 10:30 Eastern time, Wednesday nights.
That should be a great one. As well, Miami playing terrific. How about the one night Bosch plays without the two other big timers? He was able to, I think he was over Atlanta, had a big game. Roll. Giffey.
And Kalichla had it, couldn't hang on to it, and then Drummond couldn't rescue it. What's interesting, though, you were talking about Calhoun's demonstrative behavior there, strolling to the center of the arena to make sure everybody in the building saw him undress the freshman Bo Wright. I remember when you coached, it was exactly the opposite. As soon as you called the timeout, your entire team stormed over and started jabbing their finger at you.
Well, I used to say, okay, one at a time, guys.
And Kalichla bumped by Olander. Second on Tyler Olander's brother Ryan plays at Fairfield. They played against each other earlier this year in this building. UConn won by 8, even though the Fairfield Olander Ryan scored 8 to Tyler's 2 for UConn.
I think he had a big dunk against him, though. The brother Ryan, that is.
5-point lead in the ball for West Virginia. Bodies fly away from the ball, and it'll be another UConn foul as KJ hit the deck and Andre Drummond gets called for his first.
And Sean, he's been doing that all game. He extends the arms, and he's going to get nailed for that.
Well, and Kevin Jones has been talking to him a little bit. He's trying to take advantage of the freshman.
Boy, bodies flying all over the place now. Jabari Hines hit the court and bounced back up.
I think he just tripped on that one.
Jones or Kalichla inside. Use the big guy. He can do some damage, I think.
Yeah, Kalichla, well guarded by Oriaki. Kalichla wanted a foul.
His jump hook is unblockable.
What language do you think he used when he begged for that foul?
How about when he taught himself to speak English, came to this country to go to Mountain State Academy, a prep school in Beckley, West Virginia. Lamb down the lane and scores. Didn't really speak any English. Matter of fact, he told Bob Huggins when you first started recruiting, I didn't understand a lot of what you said, which I know is a problem you had as well. But he taught himself basically English off of watching TV.
At least he didn't do it from listening to Bob.
Well, he probably picked up a few superlatives. And how about the guitar as well, self-taught? They say he's terrific.
Yeah, very good guitar player.
Use him again. Either hand. Now bounce to the middle.
And the lefty little fadeaway hook, and Kevin Jones in his familiar spot.
They have to help a little when he gets the ball. And that's going to open up setting off the basket, the weak side rebounding position. He's extraordinary at that.
He just loads up the weak side. Niels Giffey had no shot. I mean, he just gave him a little shove, and he had no shot.
Right.
First personal foul.
Shot comes from the left side, and on the right side, you can already see him moving out Andre Drummond. Just wedged him out, and Giffey had no chance to help out.
That's just great position rebounding and strength. That's getting a rebound with your smarts, too.
Foul on Jabari Hines, his first for West Virginia. 12 minutes to go. Boy, there's an over-the-back foul on Drummond.
Nice job by the big fella, Kalichla. Boy, Jeremy uses, I just love his footwork. Didn't make that shot, but quick to the release.
Well, these are typically two of the most animated coaches in the country, rather subdued for the most part by their standards tonight.
And
And while we were away, Carl, Jim Calhoun was called for a technical foul for arguing a bit too long, a bit too loudly with Pat Driscoll. First, it seemed to be a pleasant conversation, but after Pat walked away, Jim continued and got teed up. So there's Chuck Bryant. Short with the first one. Senior from Brooklyn, New York. All-time leading scorer at St. Raymond's High School. The big thrill earlier this year. His high school retired his number.
Nice kid.
Great kid.
You know what I enjoy when they're juniors and seniors? Today, they have a dialogue with the coach of how to play a thing. They get involved a little bit more. And there's a great mutual respect when you've been down the road.
We'd like to add our congratulations to Barry Larkin. Had a chance to work with Barry at the College World Series. A wonderful guy. And his son, Shane, of course, is a freshman on the basketball team at the University of Miami with the Hurricanes. He released some quotes today talking about how proud he is of his dad, particularly because Barry Larkin's such a humble guy.
Something that escaped you, I might add. You would have done the headgear, I think. Make a selection like Lee.
I think that is such a uniquely Lee Corsto thing. We're going to leave it to him. Nobody could do it the same way he does. Kalichla gets the bounce, and West Virginia has its largest lead, 10 points. And quiet here in Hartford as the locals starting to deal with the possibility this could be 3 straight in the loss column for the defending national champs. That'll bring them to life. Lamb off the perfect pass from Shabazz Napier.
It's footwork and running the set.
I think you go right back inside here.
Foul on Napier, his first.
Just a nice little anticipation of going one way. Nice reaction.
It's the step and go, and you got to get more pressure on the ball. I mean, you just can't let Napier out there pick you apart.
He's got some people to lob to out there, too. Doesn't he? Some choices. Drummond, Oriaki, as well as Lamb.
Bryant, tough runner. Kalichla kept it alive. Fielded by Boat right ahead to Napier. Lamb the tip. And a foul on Bryant in the follow-up action. His third.
I think they're giving him 2 shots.
Apparently it was a tip by Lamb, in which he was fouled by Bryant.
You know, earlier we were talking about the foot speed of Lamb. Do you see him get down the floor there? He can really accelerate, but he's always smooth and under control.
Lamb has 13 points tonight. They're just 5 last year in the regular season meeting between these two teams in Morgantown, won by West Virginia.
A little setup 2-2-1. Face guard a little bit. I think they need turnovers to baskets. West Virginia's so good defensively, they're going to make you use clock.
They need to get it over, and they just did.
Who's the big guy?
Oh,
what a break here.
yeah, tough break because Aaron Brown and Kalichla weren't on the same page on the entry pass, but it was last touched by UConn. It wasn't going to be fielded by Kalichla.
Got to watch Chuck Bryant here.
Throw it in deep with Napier right on him.
Pretty good control by Bryant, because if he turned and moved those elbows, it would have been his violation. Or a foul.
10 to shoot. We're coming up on the midway point of the second half. West Virginia trying to go to 4-1 in the Big East. And Gary Brown a miss. Drummond the rebound. They were down by 10 a moment ago. Now the Huskies within 6.
Kilden picked the dribble up too early. And one of the few times Lamb maybe not in the right spot on that sideline, couldn't set his guy up to free himself.
Tomorrow night it's Super Tuesday, which starts this week with a super doubleheader. 7 Eastern, Georgia against number 19 Florida. And at 9, 5th-ranked Ohio State takes on Illinois. Super Tuesday presented by KFC on ESPN, ESPN3, also streaming live at WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. I know, Bill, you think that Illinois team is capable a little bit more than what they've given so far.
You know, Jay sees a ball. He's in the studio and at home watching, doing his homework. But you know, they're capable. Bertrand had a terrific, just one shot the other day. The big kid is Myers in the center spot. Maybe a few more touches. We can coach everybody, can't we?
Yes. Myers Leonard is going to be really good. They've got such talented wings. I mean, DJ Richardson, really good defender. They can get out and run. Brandon Paul. I think they can be. That's a great opportunity for them to get Ohio State in their building.
Whoa, the inbounding pass from Napier stolen by Brown, and it'll be West Virginia ball. Sloppy turnover on the inbounds pass by Napier.
Even though UConn, UConn has played hard, but don't you get the feeling West Virginia's playing harder?
Yes.
It's more solid, maybe, as well as hard. In the right spot defensively more frequently.
You've got to be confident in your big guys to use them this much away from the bucket.
He's become a decent passer, I think, Jay. Now he loads up.
Crowd wanted to walk. They might have had a point. Aaron Brown seemed to be stepping without dribbling.
Good cut.
Kalichla called for an offensive foul for using the free arm, and that's his 4th.
Quite a wrestling match down there. They could have called the foul earlier.
And now it's Bob Huggins' turn to holler at the officials.
Well, he's talking about that arm bar that Olander was using inside. That was a physical confrontation. I think he could have called it either way early.
If he can do
Olander
that,
buries one. 6 straight for UConn.
if he can do that, Sean, it's a different team. I think their high-low will work.
Brown, they need it, and they don't get it. Wild shot, but Noreen there on the weak side. And then a turnover by Brown. He got it back. Lamb couldn't control it. Gary Brown swatted out of bounds by Drummond.
Jones wide open in the corner. You got to give it to him. You got the big guy. Show some respect.
Well, this UConn pressure has changed the entire tenor of this game. They've done it defensively.
In the wing, he's loading up.
7 blocks for UConn, annually among the leading shot blocking team in the country. 2 of them for Drummond tonight. And trouble on the dribble by Brown. Noreen traveled, hit his knees, and got called for a walk.
If he had been down and caught it, it would have been okay. But going down, the violation.
Kalichla on the bench with 4. For UConn, it's Boatwright with the ball, with Napier, Lamb, Drummond, and Olander. Olander tried to jam it inside of Drummond. Noreen knocked it away.
Bring it back out, reset it.
See, Olander takes Jones away from the hoop, too, which will help some offensive rebound. They haven't been able to do very much.
He's open on the pop. That pass got to go right away.
7 seconds on the shot clock, and Drummond again with the line drive from the baseline.
Ooh, he's starting to like offense. Give me some touches.
8 straight for UConn. Crowd on its feet. West Virginia will get the media timeout on the next whistle, so Bob Huggins isn't using one of the 3 he has left.
This is their motion. Open middle. Ooh, that was a late find. Woo! Lord, this kid, I think he's got some game on that offensive passing end.
Kevin Noreen set up Jabari Hines for a huge bucket for West Virginia to put the Husky fans back in their seats.
Pretty look.
Oh, Drummond off the pass from Olander.
Step and go, and the lefty with the delivery.
And a steal by Boatwright. Will Huggins continue to wait for the media timeout?
Jones not getting it inside. It's coming all the way out.
Bryant, no. Down to Lamb, and now a chance for the lead for Connecticut again.
Napier's got to come get it. They're just running a clear out.
Drummond. It popped out, kept alive by Lamb. Drummond again, almost a neck ball. Noreen rebounded.
Pretty good activity. Nice run out here.
Jones ran the court. Good catch in transition. Oh, and then a bad pass over the head of Noreen. Either way, it'll be a backcourt violation. So Olander let it go, and mercifully for Kevin Jones and the Mountaineers, the media timeout. He looks exhausted. And UConn on the big run. They were down by 10 5 minutes ago.
How about the hammer? Lay in the wood.
And Boatwright after the steal. UConn's done it with their defensive intensity.
UConn on the run over the last 5 minutes with just more than 11 minutes to go. They trailed by 10. They've electrified the crowd with some acrobatic buckets. And we're tied at 48 in downtown Hartford with 6:05 to go. Our 5th tie of the night. There have been 5 lead changes. Even with the students still on their winter break, this crowd alive tonight. Jeremy Lamb leading the Huskies with 16. Andre Drummond has 15 points on 7 of 9 shooting. Kevin Jones leads all scorers with 19, but he's the only Mountaineer in double figures. And as Bob Huggins said, typically they need 2 of that big 3 of Jones, Kalichla, and Bryant. Bryant and Kalichla have had trouble getting it going with foul trouble. Kalichla's still on the bench with 4. Bryant plays with his 3.
Jay mentioned the defense. That's really perked up this end of the floor for Connecticut.
UConn had the lead very briefly early in the second half. 34-33. 16:38 to go. That was their last lead. Good catch by Napier in front of the bench.
Where when they pass out of that ball screen and Drummond rolls to the hoop, you got to get some pressure out on Olander. He's going to just throw lobs, get the ball inside all night.
Second personal foul.
Foul was on Hines. The 16th foul. So the next one will put West Virginia over the limit.
I just love where he stops and starts.
Bryant backed away. Didn't want to commit that 4th foul. 5.5 to go. UConn trying to end a 2-game losing streak.
Nice job by Noreen to shut that lane down. Drummond had a dunk.
Lamb for 3.
Wow. He gathers those puppies. Shaking the shoulder. You know he can beat you with the bounce. Collects himself and drills it.
They've been sloppy with the ball of late. The Mountaineers. They've really helped UConn make this run. Jones. Noreen the offensive rebound. Jones from in closer. Fouled on the block attempt by Drummond, who commits his 3rd.
Noreen, I thought you'd have just powered up, you know? A little too unselfish. Right at that rim. Go up strong. Respect for seniors, maybe, huh? I wish Sean could display a little of that.
That put Connecticut over the limit as well. 2-shot foul this time to Jones. Olander out and Oriaki returned for Connecticut. Jones with his 9th game this season out of 17 with 20 points or more.
With Olander's playing well, this is a nice, and Oriaki, it's a nice rotation up front for the bigs for UConn.
Drummond!
It's a new name for send it in. Drummond. Speed to the rim.
You can see that coming. Timeout, West Virginia. And even If the Mountaineers saw it coming, who wants to stand in the way of that young man coming at you?
See your life flash away.
You give up any penetration into the lane, that means you're going to be helping uphill. Kevin Noreen helped uphill, and there's no what you're going to pay for that. It's either a lob or a bounce pass, and that ball is going to hit the deck quickly after it goes through the rim.
This is why I like the little guys in the game too. Penetration by Napier, Boatwright, and also the ability of Lamb with the dribble. That sets up that defensive maneuvering.
Andre Drummond, preseason Rookie of the Year in the Big East, and living up to it, particularly tonight.
Outstanding. His offense is coming along. His ability to attack the rim is extraordinary, though, isn't it?
Fortunate to have breakaway rims.
They readjust the floorboards when he leaves the gym.
He's only a few months into his college career, a little more time in the collegiate strength and conditioning program. You wonder what he's going to be like.
Drummond, good play by Truck, offering up his body.
And that's 4 on Andre Drummond. So the big fella on each side. Kalichla for West Virginia. Now Drummond of Connecticut with 4 each. Kalichla still on the bench. When do you think Bob Huggins will bring Kalichla back?
We were saying under 4.
Under 4, I would.
So we're getting close.
You know what was interesting, the coaching on that particular play? Get Jones moving, gives Drummond problems, quickly guard him on the perimeter.
But how about Truck Bryant? Yeah, they had the guts there to take that. Truck got hit by an 18-wheeler.
So Bryant 1 out of 2 from the line tonight. He gets to the line a lot. Now made 393 career free throws, 8th all time in West Virginia history. If he makes this, he'll be tied with Mark Workman for 7th. He played in the early 50s. Played against teams coached by Bill Raftery. Managed to get to the line with great regularity.
A little zone, yeah.
2-3 look.
UConn had a little trouble against South Florida. Seton Hall played a lot of zone. Maybe not a bad move. Take away the dribble drive.
Media timeout on the next whistle. And you wonder if they will put Kalichla back in from the elbow. Boatwright.
All set up with a pass fake. A little pass fake left. That opened things up to get to the elbow for the easy jumper.
7 for Boatwright. He averages 10.5 per game. 3.5 to go. UConn by 4. They've trailed most of the game. And Bryant had it blocked out of bounds by Alex Oriaki. That gets us to the last media timeout of regulation with 3:26 to go. Connecticut by 4. It should be good. Kalichla's back in the game, and he's fouled. So Bob Huggins out of the media timeout, put him back in with 3:26 to go. They immediately went to the big guy, and he drew a foul and will shoot 2. He's not a good foul shooter, 55% for the year. Foul was on Olander, his 3rd.
Well, even though he's not a great free throw shooter, you certainly don't want to foul. West Virginia's had such a hard time scoring in the second half. Ooh, shooting 28%.
And I mentioned during the break, Jones only 4 shot attempts this half.
And they made 6 threes in the first half. West Virginia, they're 0 for 7 from beyond the arc. The offense has gone away. Kalichla, after he almost broke the rim with the first one that dropped through. Much prettier second effort, and the Mountaineers down by 2. Boatwright, the freshman.
Bryant has to be alert too.
A lot of hands by Hines. Didn't get called for a foul, and an air ball fired up by Boatwright.
And nothing running, nobody back.
Jones ties the game.
I didn't think that was a very good shot by Ryan Boatwright. It was a shot off no passes. When UConn dribbles more than they pass, they don't get anything very good.
And you notice he was not back either. He was at the foul line. He's got to turn and run.
Well, that's the thing. When you take a bad shot, it's basically the first pass in your opponent's fast break.
Lamb had trouble on the handoff as Bryant defended. And Lamb smoothly done from the elbow.
You said it's a sellout. Then Campbell puts him in position to knock that down. Not a good defensive play by the Truck.
Well, typical Big East battle here in downtown Hartford tonight. The promise of Exciting big Mondays to come on ESPN this season. 2:12 to go.
2-3 set. They were late running it. They were supposed to scissor cut off the middle.
Bryant for the lead. No, it popped out. Boy, Kalichla got fouled, and finally the whistle, a little slow in coming. But it came from the outside official, Pat Driscoll, an Olander. Got called for his fourth.
I'll tell you what, that was physical, that particular play. Look at these kids hit that weight room, and this is the reason. Very aggressive on both ends.
10 points for Kalichla, double figures in 13 out of 17 this year. After making 2 on the last trip, wide left with that one. Drummond comes back in with 4 fouls. West Virginia, one of the worst foul shooting teams in the league, 64%. That's 15th in the Big East. But down the stretch against Georgetown, last 3 minutes of the game Saturday, Mountaineers went 10 for 10 to seal the win. And a reach in on Hines.
Not a bad idea, though. Big guy bouncing out there.
Well, it puts Drummond at the line. Drummond's a poor free throw shooter.
Yeah, 35% for the year. This is a 1-and-1. Third foul on Hines. Drummond 1 out of 2 from the line tonight.
And he should be confident as well as he's played and as well as he shot the ball.
Yeah, baby. Really doesn't bend the knees. He sort of goes up on the shot.
And gives it a little bit of a fling. But it was effective, as you would say.
Everybody needs a good fling once in a while.
A little more altitude on that. Wow, he just fouled out. He just missed the shot.
Is that an Oriaki?
Actually, it's Oriaki. Yeah, it's Oriaki who threw down Kalichla. So that's only his second, not on Drummond.
This gives more reading why you need conditioning coaches this game. Which right in the middle of things, too. Good speed to that rebound by Drummond. Amazing.
Well, here's Kalichla. 3 out of 4. His third straight trip to the line here under the pressure of a tight game in the waning moments. Bob Huggins has spent a lot of time working one-on-one with Kalichla on that stroke, and the extra work looks like it's paying off.
Tell you what, he is a solid player. More athletic than you. When you look at that big body, you don't see the foot speed, etc., but got some dexterity.
Well, he's ambidextrous. He can shoot that hook with the right or the left equally well.
Drummond rebounded to miss. I think the frustration for Bob Huggins is that Kalichla doesn't give it to him consistently night in and night out. There's a little bit of an up and down factor there.
A nice zone up by Jones in the recovery. Trouble here.
Lamb for 3, long. Drummond.
How about that? The wingspan got the rebound without fouling.
That was impressive. The wrist going over the back. 20 points for Andre Drummond. 4 away from his career high against Holy Cross earlier this year when he went 11 for 12 from the floor.
A pretty good check out, too. Of course, it did bounce a little wide, but the presence of mind not to push or get involved.
UConn by 3. Timeout, West Virginia, 1 left. College Hoops continues on ESPN. Thursday night showcase doubleheader. 7 Eastern, Wisconsin takes on Purdue. 9 Eastern, Virginia and Duke. Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price on ESPN, ESPN3. Also streaming live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Under a minute to go here. Excuse me, 1:18 to go here. And 1 timeout left for West Virginia. What's the strategy out of the timeout for Bob Huggins?
Well, West Virginia, first of all, Kalichla can't hedge out that high on a ball screen. He put him into rotation. All of a sudden, Truck Bryant has to block out. He's got to come out and guard Jeremy Lamb. That's not what Bob Huggins wants. But don't you think they have to go inside on this play, either to Jones? You know, go to Jones, let him go to work.
He hasn't not had enough touches, absolutely. Also, Kalichla on the box. You know, ride him. Maybe he can power and get a 3-point play.
And it comes to Kalichla. Hands it off to Gary Brown, the freshman. They have two freshmen on the floor with Jabari Hines also out there. Jones and now Bryant.
Back screen to get him to the box.
Jones makes a move over Drummond. Long. Drummond rebounds. Was stripped. And Napier wound up with it. Under a minute to go. UConn the ball at a 3-point lead.
Well, they got the shot they wanted down on the block.
Little double back pick for Kevin Jones. He just couldn't score.
Napier got knocked down by Brown. No foul called. And a timeout given to Napier. Bob Huggins thought it was a held ball, but they might have given UConn the break on the held ball because they allowed the body check by Gary Brown.
Yeah, that was a foul. There's no question that was a foul.
And a great reaction to get the timeout as well. Great presence of mind. There's the takedown. And heady play by both guards.
Yeah, that needed to be called right there.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them out there.
Mid-season
It did look
form.
like Napier had possession of the ball and was asking for the timeout before the tie-up.
Solid D you're thinking right now. 18 seconds. West Virginia, stay at home. I would run the high ball screen again, see how they run it if I'm Connecticut. Let him, Blitzker wants to come out. He ended up on Lamb on that rotation.
I think that's right.
Big disadvantage.
I would run that high screen. Now, Drummond's not in the ball game. You can use Oriaki to run it. But with Olander up top, that's going to pull a big guy away from the basket. You can roll him right to the rim.
Well, that's Jones' matchup, which is important because he's such a good rebounder.
First, you got to get it in. UConn's had a problem inbounding the ball, and Boatwright is small.
Boatwright trying to get into Napier. With Olander, Lamb, and Oriaki. They'd love to get it in the hands of Lamb if they can. Pesky defense by Hines. 10 to shoot.
Too much bounce.
Yeah, Napier, desperation heave. And the rebound by Jones. One possession game. 3 to tie for West Virginia.
Quick 2.
Yeah, go for the quick 2.
Real
Get
hard.
it to the rim.
And they're going to end up settling for the 3.
Yep, and it's Jones firing a 3. Out of bounds. Gary Brown better be careful he doesn't get a technical. He didn't like that call. He thought Oriaki was last to touch. It was very demonstrative in expressing his displeasure.
With more than 2 bounces, you always get in trouble. Can't get what you want done. Kevin upset, distraught.
They overruled it.
Yeah,
West Virginia
I thought from here it was Oriaki the last to touch.
No.
Well,
Which
now
way are
Joe
they
Lindsay
pointing?
says no, it is Connecticut ball, and Pat Driscoll over to tell the West Virginia bench to sit down, but the officials need to let the guys know what the situation is here.
That was off Oriaki. There's no question about it. None.
Yep. And a tough one to miss. Now Bryant fouls Lamb, who's an 83% free throw shooter.
What a dangerous pass by Shabazz Napier. There was a foul, but that could have been intercepted. I don't think he expected it, Lamb.
A 1-and-1 opportunity. That's the 8th team foul against West Virginia. 83% for the year and perfect tonight in 3 trips.
Great rotation, doesn't he? Quick push if you're West Virginia. Get to the rim as quickly as you can. Get your defense set.
Lamb makes this one. Will match the largest lead of the game for Connecticut. They led by 5 less than 3 minutes in.
Got to take
5-point lead.
You got to take it all the way to the rim. After you score, you can call a timeout.
And they need to get moving. Brown slowly dribbling up the court. We go under 10 seconds.
Too long.
Bryant had it blocked by Drummond, who retained possession, and UConn will be a winner.
Hard fought. Wow. Talk about leaving it all out there. Pretty good comeback.
And how about the performance by Andre Drummond?
He was
Incredible.
magnificent, and Lamb had 25 points. And Drummond sealed the win with the block beyond the 3-point line.
All coaching.
Yeah. Great effort. Offense coming around. The rest sit the lady by the big fella.
Double-double for Drummond, 20 points, And 11 rebounds. He had 3 block shots, his 5th double-double of his freshman season. And Connecticut ends its 2-game losing streak. Both teams now 3-2 in the Big East. Final score, Connecticut 64 and West Virginia 57. ESPN Films Unguarded, presented by Buick, coming up next. Outstanding documentary about Chris Herring. For Jay Billis, Bill Raftery, and our crew, Sean McDonough, so long from Hartford. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Here's Carl Ravitch.